Good evening, counselors. I'm Lydia Martin, and I have lived at 332D Hillside Church Road, Fountain Inn 29644, for all 17 years of my life. Now you may be thinking, Lydia, why are you here? You should be at home texting your friends or working on college applications. Why do you care enough about land development regulations to prepare a speech and be here tonight? I care because I know the value of rural life, the blessing it has been to me, and I pray it will be to my children. Not only do rural communities have economic value in our country, but they also shape people. Living on a small farm has shaped my character and taught me many priceless lessons, such as responsibility, being a good steward of the creatures and things with which God has blessed me. It has given me the opportunity to learn important skills such as how to grow a garden and clean a chicken. I have learned about the beauty of simplicity and the value of sharing resources. I have come to truly appreciate the glory and intricacy of the world in which we live. I have learned the value of working hard and reaping the benefits. I have tasted the satisfaction of sitting down to a meal that came entirely from my family's labor. But our rural life now requires protection, and the regulations under consideration are insufficient for preventing the spread of urban life into our rural area. When we open the gates for people to flood into a rural area, it is not a matter of sharing in a community. On the contrary, it is a matter of displacement. Take, for example, Coble's Dairy on Fairview Road. This man had spent labor and resources on his property and business for longer than I have been alive. But a subdivision moved in next door, and people complained about the smell of his cows. Do you not think that, after all the years of his life invested in that dairy, he had a greater right to smelly cows than the people who had just moved in next door had to be upset about them? But the complaints forced Mr. Coble to move his dairies to Georgia. I have seen urbanism creeping down Fairview Road and pushing out farmers, not because the land was bought, but because urban life and rural life are incompatible neighbors. We are not upset about a few new neighbors. We are upset that the land development regulations are opening the door for so many new neighbors that our productivity will be hampered. Our peace will be shattered. Our natural resources will be polluted and diminished. And we may even be forced to cede the land that, in many cases, our families have farmed for generations. Contrary to what some may think, this is not a matter of a bunch of local locals throwing a hissy fit because some city people might move in next door. No, give us a neighbor fresh from the city, and whether he owns a small plot of land or 200 acres, we will welcome him. This is a matter of fear. When the doors open for so many people to flood into this area, we become afraid. We become afraid that our rights and our voices will be drowned out by those who do not understand us or the value that we place upon our land and our homes. To protect our land, our homes, and our voices by revising the proposed land development regulations and asking you to send them back to the drawing board. I'm not asking you to keep out city people or those who decide they only need a small amount of land to live on. I'm asking you to prevent a dangerous inundation of people from uniting our voices and our rights. I'm asking you to preserve and protect our homes and our way of life. Thank you.
Are there two names?
There is another Gilly, but he just doesn't happen to be here tonight. I'm Carol Gilly, and I live at 130 Terry Road with my husband, and we live in Fountain Inn. And my husband and I are small business owners who have lived here in Greenville County for over 30 years. And we try in our small way to help to do what's right for the area and what the people want in the area who live here. And so that's why I'm here tonight, and I'd love for you to listen to why we feel it's important. We do not approve these regulations until public input has been taken into serious account. When only stakeholders are consulted, the results tend to be lopsided, favoring their gain over community desires. And oftentimes, stakeholders do not live in or use the areas affected, so their focus can be misguided. As regulations are now written, they are too vague. There is too much leeway given to the Planning Commission and Department for interpretation. That leaves too much opportunity to be influenced solely by the stakeholders, making decisions for their immediate gain and not for the long-term benefit of the residents. Yet it's the residents who these decisions will affect, and they will be living with them. As a county grows, the approach and regulations need adjusting. We agree with that, yes. But what better way to do that but but with the input from the people they affect, especially during the revision stages. We elected you to represent us and our desires and our needs. So doesn't it make sense that you involve us and sincerely listen to us? We want to work together. We are not against growth and development, as you've been hearing here tonight. We are not trying to be difficult. We are wanting to make our county better by helping solve current issues together and moving forward in a way that is satisfactory to as many people as possible, not to just a select few. Working together is important, but so is compromise, as we heard from the gentleman who first spoke. And we have already shown our willingness to do that by accepting and welcoming growth and development. But that doesn't mean it should be accomplished with disregard for our input and desires, or by destroying the character of the area. That fosters ill will and is like taking a step backward. Letting citizens help influence the LDRs is a step going in a forward direction. It will benefit people in the entire county. Thank you.
Lynn Donahue.
Gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to address this issue. As I understand, when the process started over 2 years ago, the following groups of people were invited: the real estate professionals, developers, surveyors, land development engineers, and Upstate Forever. The public was specifically excluded because the staff assumed that Upstate Forever was going to provide public input. Their objectives are not to provide public input. All of the participants who did have an input also had a vested financial interest in the way those regulations were written. And it looks like, maybe the staff had some input. The language in the regulations, as people have already said, uses words like may or should and gives very wide discretion to the developer, staff, and it uses very few words like shall, required. They just aren't strong enough. And our group has looked extensively at the LDRs in the worst counties in the state of South Carolina. Jim Moore sent everybody an email with comments that have been submitted, and the answers were written in red. Now, these answers or suggestions were developed by professional engineers. Mr. Moore is a professional engineer, business people, Mr. Steers, business people, attorneys, but yet the public was just duly excluded. In fact, in a related case, the county attorney stood up and said before a judge that we could not appeal the county planning decisions. So when is our chance to appeal? We're not opposed to growth, but these decisions that you will make and are getting ready to make will impact us from now to forever. And it's not just the southern part of the county. It is the entire county. Look at Woodruff Road. Just give us something we can live with that will enhance our community. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Bruce Masters. I reside in southern Greenville County at 103 Hillside Church Road. I want to speak to y'all today about the proposed land development regulations that don't recognize growth in rural areas. I live on a farm next to a recently approved high-density subdivision. I don't oppose growth as long as it considers the surrounding rural area. Unlike the LDR and other growing counties, these proposed regulations don't have much recognition like the existing regulations. These proposed regulations require high-density subdivisions to collect the storm water runoff into holding ponds before discharging the water into existing flow system or surrounding waterways. The regulations rely on vehicle controls, which are few when it comes to subdivisions, because the regulations assume that the runoff goes into a closed sewer system. Runoff from these subdivisions will go into a pond that is used as a water source for livestock and wildlife. All the yard chemicals and septic tank runoff will end up in that pond. The DHEC regulations do not put controls on the contaminants. Other growth counties have recognized this, and when growth is in a rural area, their land development regulations reflect environmental regulations for the runoff from high-density subdivisions. They require developers to provide facilities to control contamination when the runoff leaves the property. These regulations also financially encourage developers to build less dense housing to avoid the required facilities to treat the high concentrations. This helps to maintain the surrounding rural character as well as ensure the surrounding property isn't contaminated. This also assures the adjacent landowners that the water comes from the subdivision is okay for livestock and wildlife. The proposed LDRs do not provide this environmental protection. As a result, that pond will have to get regular checks for contamination when the subdivision is built. If the contaminant level is too high, it will require finding another water source for livestock. This will be expensive for the livestock owners. There will be no option for the wildlife though. These regulations don't need to be implemented in hindsight after the damage is done. I ask that you send the proposed land development regulations back to the planning department to be revised and incorporate the environmental regulations that are proving successful in other South Carolina land development regulations. Thank you.
Anybody in the audience that didn't sign up, would you like to speak against this reason? Not resuming this public hearing? Anyone? Got 6 minutes left. Okay, I don't see anybody. Right. You already had yours. You gotta have somebody that has handed it. Okay, I'll declare this public hearing closed.
Thank you, Mr. Dill. We have 3 other public hearings tonight, and each one of those will be conducted by Jim Burns.
Item 6B is Project Advantage Fee in lieu of tax agreement. The public hearing is being held